let's get on with it. 3, 2, 1, we're almost ready. Are you ready? Go, go, go! Green, and away we go. Summer Series 25 drivers streaming down into turn 1, and already Wilco looks like he's got the jump on Albert and takes the lead, but Albert is not done with yet. He's going to go around the Sexy Rexy, yibbida, folks, down there in 4th, and all the while this is giving Wilco the chance to pull out in front. Themselves up here in the opening lap, but Bob, it's been hectic, but not quite as hectic as what I thought it would be. Down the inside of Sideways, is it going to work, Bob, or is it going to end in tears? I think it's come off. Yes, it has. And it's Wilco with a nose in front as we come through to complete the lap. Sideorg, our winner from last week and championship leader, King in there as well. And don't tell me Wilco could have gone from 1st to 3rd in a matter of corners here, Bob. I reckon he's lost the lead and he could be down to 3rd by the end of the opening lap.
And then they'll do a full formation.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're watching right around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to round 5 of the Australia-New Zealand Endurance League, and it's the Hooncorp 6 hours of Silverstone, and we're going to be here for the next 6 hours, it sounds pretty obvious, but we are absolutely cannot wait for this one here at the moment. Let me tell you that we've got a 4-minute countdown happening at the moment, and the cars and drivers are on the grid. We've got 54 drivers, 22 cars, and a couple of changes as well, which we'll get into a little bit later on. Huge shout out to Matchin193 and Heath for following the channel. And we've smashed that follower goal of 260. Now we're heading to 270. And the sky's the limit here, ladies and gentlemen, as we see all 22 cars on the grid here at Silverstone for this Hooncorp 6 hours here this afternoon, 1:30 p.m. We're running a little bit over time. We had a couple of issues, but now everybody's in the lobby. And you can see there in the top right-hand corner of your screen, 6 hours. And we're going to be absolutely losing our marbles by the end of it if we haven't lost those marbles already. Big hello to Rain of Fire in the chat. And Wilco in there as well. Very serious sounding Wilco today. He's going to have his game face on. And Sparky God saying good luck to everybody. And also there's a Movember fundraiser happening for BCG3. They're raising funds for Movember, so please donate there. The link is pinned in the chat. Connor Butler's Mo Space. and get amongst it and support our brother in his raising awareness for cancer and supporting men's health. As I welcome my co-commentator this afternoon, he's running off 3 litres of vodka and a kilo of Coles chicken tenders. He's a man that doesn't need to flush the toilet. He simply scares the shit out of it. It's Cameron Chuck Norris, the Nigerian Prince. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Trev. Good afternoon, Chad. It's a bloody ripper day today. I got to admit. I know it's a ripper day over here in little old Adelaide, and I've heard it's pretty good weather over in Melbourne as well at the moment. So, talking about good weather though, 37 degrees out here in the UK at Silverstone. Very toasty, you might say, Trev.
Very toasty indeed. And they're more cricketing conditions, aren't they? Summer-like conditions over there in the UK. I think we might win the toss and have a bat first. That's a cricket joke. But there's a few changes before we get underway here. Clocaid is now back racing for CFD. That is a huge in, Nigerian Prince. Also, Car 36 has withdrawn. So Speedy Tyres is now in with Car 56 alongside Random and Captain Risky. And Turn 0 with Exo and Team Little Bear can now race and will start last. P22, so there's a few changes before we get underway here this afternoon.
Yeah, so there was a couple of last minute changes that happened quite early this morning. So it's good to see nonetheless that even though some cars have withdrawn, it's good to see that they've managed to find their way onto another team.
And they've managed to find homes, which is very, very nice indeed. We're going to go through we can see the grid there. What a lap on Friday night it was, Prince, from Twitchy for Hooncorp Racing. And Hooncorp will start P1 in the race, also bearing their name here, of course, at Silverstone. But it was a lap he needed to deliver, and he delivered under pressure. And his balls must have been sweaty, but he delivered when he needed to and took pole position for this race, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. It was 56 off memory. They had one out lap and then one flying lap to get their time in. So the top 10 shootout that was held on Friday night was absolutely killer, as we've got Apex Humper. God, I thought I almost said that wrong. Apex Humper following the stream. Welcome to the community.
I thought he was German there for a second as we count down. Oh, yeah, bitte sehen Apex Humper. And Apex Humper, the German, the champion, German fencing champion, as we are ready. And I am so nervous. If we're nervous up here, Nigerian Prince, imagine what these drivers are going through. As we lead away, Twitchy leads away for Hooncorp. And then it is Norm following him, but we are about to get very serious on this very, very soon, Prince. The wait is almost over for round 5 of this Endurance Championship.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was talking earlier that, I'm quite eager to see whether that P1 curse is still alive here in round 5. Just to remind everybody that the drivers in the first 4 rounds who have started from pole position have not won the race. So it's going to be an interesting one to see if the curse is still alive here in round 5.
Certainly is. 5 from 5, none of which, 4 from 4 I should say, the opening 4 rounds. Nobody has taken pole, who has taken pole I should say, which is just Twitchy, has gone on to win the race. As you can see there, our pole man, Twitchy and Hyperdrift for Hooncorp Esports, 14th in France, 7th in Belgium, 2nd in USA, and 12th at the Kyalami round, which of course coincided with the fundraising for the it wasn't Make-A-Wish, what was it? Our fundraising donation month, which we do. And how much do we end up donating in the end, Prince? It was a couple of thousand. I think we just ticked over to the 2K mark.
Yeah, so every August we run an annual charity month. It was our 3rd year running this year, and we managed to raise a staggering $2,000 for Lifeline.
Fantastic stuff, and we're going to get, we're almost ready to get underway. 22 people watching. Thanks to Apex for the follow. We're going to keep across that. We're already smashed our target of 260, and we're getting ready to go. We'll keep looking at the drivers through the order here, of course, varying classes throughout the field here this afternoon. And you can see Sofa King there for JB Racing, and then we've got Dask as well in the famous Mercedes-Benz livery there, the number 77, and a few other drivers. Little Mac, can't forget about these guys further down the order, and Jimbo Jones down there as well, Prince.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got a couple of different classes on the grid. So for those that might not know, the white banner behind the car number, those signify our pro drivers. The silver background represents our pro-am drivers, and the red background symbolizes our am drivers. So it's all to play for, whether you're a pro driver, an am driver, or even a pro-am driver. It's all to play for. So I'm looking forward to seeing what these drivers can do, and I'm looking forward to seeing if Twitchy, his race pace, is similar to his quali pace, because if that's the case, Trev, then we're going to be in for a bit of a show here.
We certainly will be. The time for talking is almost over. DJ Jura says, let's go Heatstroke, first time chatter. I hope he's following the channel. I haven't seen him follow yet, but I'm sure he'll do so very, very shortly. And good luck, you peasants, says Nemo. That's a little bit racy there from Nemo. Across the ditch. Hello to everybody out there in New Zealand. It is the Australia-New Zealand Endurance League, and it's almost time to get underway. The drivers, of course, needing to stay in their lane, do the right speed to avoid any penalties off of the start-finish line. Hello, Trev. I'm ready, champ. Nemo's ready. Everybody is ready. We hope you are too at home. The drivers are ready to go. And you can feel the tension. It's slowly building to round 5 of this championship, and it's going to reach a crescendo. And then we're going to be over the start-finish line to get things underway. Great to have your company wherever you're watching us right around the world. It's time to get the talking started on track here this afternoon at Silverstone. 22 cars, 54 drivers, and it all gets ready to go. We're almost ready. Are you ready? Let's get it underway. Green light, race control, red. We are ready to go, and it's the red car leading into turn 1. Twitchy. Can he break the pole position curse here in this championship? Norm slots in behind him, and it seems like everybody, so far so good. They must have listened in the driver's briefing. They've all got away cleanly through Maggots, Beggots and Chapel here on lap 1, and Twitchy takes the early lead. Norm not too far behind him. Then it's Zesty in third, and then Heatstroke with Kilroy now making some moves there off the start line. Down the inside, almost makes contact as they come on to Hanger Straight for the first time. Zoom, 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 zoom. Down Hanger Straight, the timing sheets are doing their usual thing and going tits up. But we've got 6 hours, that's right, 6 hours to go here. And we're only on lap 1. Twitchy gets off to a decent start there, very close racing. And it looks like everybody has got away cleanly, Prince, so very respectful on the opening lap.
Yeah, 100%. Fingers crossed it remains that way. These drivers are slowly navigating their way through, so some positions have shuffled already. Twitchy, though, has got quite a little bit of a gap on Norm already. It's only 3/10, but I'm sure that gap will continue to close in. So drivers a little bit further down, they're finding their rhythm. It's very early on, so we'll expect drivers to start, finding a comfortable race pace. I'd say about 20 minutes in.
And you can see there, through to complete, we're almost have completed lap 1, and Abdul has joined us, your man from Shakedown, as we take a look at Jimbo Jones there further down the order. And 2 drivers per car, Prince. Abdul wants to know, how does the driver-team combination work here in this championship?
So I believe there might be some 2 driver teams, but I do believe we've got some 3 and maybe even some 4 driver teams amongst the field here.
Great stuff. Keep your comments coming in. Abdul, big shout out to you and part of the Shakedown crew. We're going to have to keep an eye on that championship as well. I'm sure Voodoo will be all over that once he gets some sleep. But we're a couple of minutes in. Lap 1, Twitchy with the quickest lap of the race. No surprises there, Nigerian Prince, and he's not streaking away into the distance. But let me tell you, it's a handy buffer. 1.2 seconds as he comes down Hanger Straight for the second time. Norm, and you can see there it looked like Zest and Fly Sky, or is that Sidehawk there? I think he's through and up to 5th now. So it's going to be tough to bet against Twitchy, but it is a long race and anything can happen, Nigerian Prince, as we well know.
Yeah, 100%. So I do know that there was rain on the horizon as well. So there's about a 30% chance we've been told of rain from our pit lane reporter from earlier on. But these 37-degree track temps, Trev, I got a sneaky suspicion the rain might not be around for a little while. But oh man, I'm looking forward to seeing if that's going to shake things up.
We're only one and a bit laps into this race, 6 hours to go. And boy, oh boy, what a spectacle we are witnessing already. And all very respectful, all very clean. You can see K-Man there for Rubbins Racing. 2.5 seconds further back from Fly Sky. And let's have a look at some of the other battles, because we've got random here on your screen. And he's got Shawnee Fuller for company. He's right behind Sofa King as well. And you can see somebody off in the background there. It looks like Metal Steel for PRT having a moment. But no harm done on that occasion, and he's managed to keep it all pointing in the same direction, although he might have some debris and some bits and pieces he doesn't want on those tyres, Prince. But Hooncorp 2, HC Lewis, they're going down the inside. Doesn't look to be too much damage there after that slide off from Metal Steel.
Yeah, it looks like he got away quite cleanly from that one, thank God. So I do notice that Little Mac, racing for Mac B, they started, I believe, P22-ish, Trev, and they're all the way up into P17 now. So they're up quite a few positions, as well as, you know, we've seen quite a few of these positions shuffling already, which is good to see. And, you know, the racing is just as alive now, and I hope it's just as alive. Oh, as we see Metal Steel mowing the grass there again.
It's on the grass there, and you can see, look at this midfield battle. Of course, all drivers in their respective classes down Hanger Straight, but there's not a lot of grip out on that grass. And going at the speeds that they do go through there, Prince, it's not a place you want to be, going through Maggots and Beckett's. But you can see behind Metal Steel, we've got Smitty for Hooncorp 3, and somebody else kicking up a little bit of dust there, Little Mac, and Cheese, and was that HC Lewis making some moves down the inside. We neglected to go with the starting grid as well, Prince, so Andrelli's not going to be happy with that. We've already been in trouble once today from a very serious sounding race control, Jason Wilkinson. But speaking of Jason Wilkinson, it looks like the Kings Racing squad already have the fastest lap of the race, so very interesting in the opening laps.
Yeah, definitely interesting. I believe we heard from them on the Friday night during qualifying, saying that they didn't really have the qualifying car, but they definitely had a race car. So I definitely know their race car's a McLaren, but, you know, I think that they were more meaning the speed that they had was a lot better during the race than qualifying.
And Squirty Squid has joined the chat. He says, Peppy, please. And can you translate that for us, Nigerian Prince? But boy, DJ Jurra, that's a tongue twister. Imagine what I'm going to be like in 5.5 hours' time. But also, everybody, Nemo in the chat. And we've got 54 drivers. A couple of drivers couldn't quite make the start, of course. Car 36 has withdrawn, so we're missing Speedy Tyres. Speedy Tyres is now in with car 56, I should say, alongside Random and Captain Risky. But it's all looking very, very clean so far as we take a look at Dean McKinnon from New South Wales, and the New South Wales Welshman there for Pissed and Broke Racing, down in 18th on track overall, and Glasso for Shakedown. And this team, Shakedown Racing, a team very close to your heart, Nigerian Prince, as we well and truly know, with Saint Sim, Sideways Polka. Now they haven't been inside the top 10 so far in this endurance series, but anything can happen today, and they'll be aiming for the top 10 here this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. So they might have a little bit of a gap to the guys in front, but they're definitely going to be trying to put their best foot forward during the stints. And as long as you maximize what you can over the course of the duration while you're in the car, I think that's definitely something to keep an eye on. So yeah, even though there's a slight gap between them and F1 Sniper, I don't think it's over yet. It might only be 10 minutes in, but you never know, things can turn on its head quite quickly.
It certainly can, especially in the sim racing world. And Prince, just tell the people your last 12 hours, might even be more than 12 hours, 18 hours or 24 hours. What the people out there watching, they want to know what you've been going through. You've been behind the wheel yourself, of course. Let's go, go, go. Great start for Mac B. Great to have BB along as well. It is go, go, go. And the great man Murray Walker there. But Prince, you have had a very interesting last few hours, have you not?
Yeah, so I actually participated in a 24 hours of Nürburgring that kicked off at about 10 o'clock last night for me, and I still haven't slept, and it's 3:30 in the afternoon now, so I'm still going strong, but sadly our race didn't hold up. It didn't go as strong as what I'm holding up. So yeah, unfortunately that's just sometimes the run of the mill with these endurance races, but I've got my fingers crossed, and I'm hoping that these guys have a way better run than what we did.
Keep your fingers crossed, your arms crossed, your legs crossed, and everything else that's crossable. We won't go there. It's only early. We're only 9 minutes in. Can you believe it? But get that man a pillow, says Squirty Squid, and you can send your pillows to Hampton Downs in South Australia's Adelaide Hills. And I said I wouldn't give away people's location details, but I tell you what, give us a box of chicken tenders and I'll keep my mouth shut. Little Mac for Mac B, that's who BB is going for here. They've made a good start, 16th overall, and I believe they're leading their class, are they not? Then you can see BB, hey, I did PR solo and finished last, and did that solo. Don't talk about solo, we've been on the hard solo here to get us through. We are doing it's a very interesting routine here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm used to streaming from 8 p.m. Eastern time on the eastern coast of Australia, and it's 2 p.m. here in Victoria Eastern time, and it feels like it's about 9 p.m. so I'm going to be pretty shithouse by the time we finish up here tonight. But Little Mac under pressure here from HC Lewis, and also behind him is HSVDT and Sniper and Glasso. So this is a sexy little battle happening here, Prince.
Yeah, this is definitely turning out to be something quite interesting of a little battle back here, nice and early on, just over 10 minutes into the race. So Little Mac, they've made an absolute tremendous start. In 10 minutes they've gone from, I believe it was P21, 22 all the way up into P16, and now they've got a little bit of a train forming behind them. So the pressure's starting to build, and not far up the road, Little Mac's going to be looking at Smitty being like, man, I just want to catch up to you, but I've got these people in my mirror and I just can't shake them.
And you can see there he's trying to shake and bake those behind him, Lewis, HSV and Sniper and Glasso as well. He's a little bit further back, I should say, but BB saying Mac has them covered, and you can see that BMW, it's the only Beamer in the field, I believe. You can see there he's got him covered down Hanger Straight, and he's not having too many issues at all, is he, here at the moment, trying to stay ahead of this pack.
Yeah, it seems to be really good on the top speed with that BMW. With whatever they've done to it, it seems to be doing really good compared to the Ferraris. I thought the Ferraris were blistering down straights, from personal experience. So, yeah, it's quite interesting, but it's good to see Little Mac holding on. But Sofa King, though, as we see on the screen, is having quite a good battle here with Shorty Fuller.
He certainly is, and BB is Butler Racing. And I just tried to just put something in the chat there saying, wait, you're Connor, like off Terminator, Sarah Connor, but seemed to have a brain aneurysm there and spell his name wrong, so I do apologise for that. And it's getting worse there, all my caps are up to shit. But this, I tell you what, this battle between Shawnee Fuller from the United Kingdom on home soil, he's run a bit deep there, hasn't he? And is he going to be able to get that back through Woodcote? But Sofa King right behind him and putting the pressure on him as they come out of Woodcote heading towards Cops here, Prince.
Yeah, this is definitely a good battle that's intensifying, and I can't help but look at the closing speed of Random and the guys not too far behind that they're slowly catching up into this. So before we know it, we're gonna have maybe like a 5, 6 car battle going on. But Shawnee Fuller is doing really good as he's coming in at Maggots and Beckett's, doing everything that he can to hold the pace of the Ferrari off.
And what is it like in an endurance race, Nigerian Prince? Is it just a matter of playing for time? Is it being patient? What is the key to lasting the distance in these enduros?
It's definitely pacing yourself as much as you can, but in doing so, like you want to make sure that you're trying to save your tires, but you don't want to be sacrificing too much time. So there's so many different variables involved in it. So these drivers, they might be going all out right now, but unfortunately, they might find themselves struggling towards the closing 20 minutes of this stint with the tires.
And there we have it, Connor in the chat. Just loving Kid Byers and his distinct lack of ability to type or speak the English language. Don't know how we've got this far, Nigerian Prince. Maybe the 36-hour, 40-hour days don't help, but I've just mentioned that we've got your link in our chat. Perfect segue to mention that for our man Connor Butler, the Mo Space, raising funds and awareness for a very special cause, Nigerian Prince, this November. Or should I say Movember for all dads, brothers, sons and mates in our lives. We're looking for donations for our man Connor Butler here this afternoon.
Yeah, so definitely be sure to refer to the pinned comment in the chat if you would like to make a donation to BCG3. They are raising funds for Movember. So I do believe there was a couple of notes that we got sent to us by those guys. They said they'll be donating $25 if they finish the race. They'll be donating $50 or $75 if BCG finish on the podium or win respectively. So I believe that's $50 if they finish on the podium, $75 if they win, and $25 if they finish the race. So you too, in the chat, you can get involved. Be sure to head to that pinned comment in the chat and make a donation. Yeah, I think it's definitely, these guys at the front, they seem to be pushing relatively hard. So Sidorg holding the purple lap of the race, so he's pushing a little bit harder than Twitchy, but Twitchy's got that 3.6-second lead at the moment over Norm. So definitely one of those ones to keep an eye on, but Wilco is definitely going to be struggling and looking in those mirrors a little bit, I think.
And that's the challenge, isn't it? You don't want to be looking in your rear view mirror. You want to be looking forward and moving forward, not backwards, not forward, not sideways, but always twirling, as we've heard off The Simpsons in previous years. But 5 hours, 43 minutes and 38 seconds to go. That is right. That is, do not adjust your TVs, your iOS or Android devices, because that is how much time we've got here, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologise, my microphone was turned off. It turned itself off there briefly, but Seidel down hanger straight now. And right behind Jason Wilkinson here. These drivers, nothing silly, as we see a yellow flag there at, is that Cop's Corner? Somebody has gone off. We'll just wait and see. Is it Dask? I don't believe it's Dask. It's someone further down the order. It looks like they've got going again. It could possibly be Smitty. Is it car 38? HC Lewis. We're going to just see. We'll wait and see. Car 35, Prince, has got into some trouble there. and I think it's Jimbo Jones who went off coming through Cop's corner, and he doesn't look to have any damage there as he comes down Hanger Straight, so he lives to fight another day, does our Jimbo Jones.
Yeah, so I'm wondering whether, obviously there's no damage that we can visibly see on the car, but I wonder whether he just took the inside curb a little bit too much and just ran over one of the sausage strips.
And you can see there, no visible damage to the car, but his pride will have taken a small hit. But we love Jimbo for Acceleraces there, the number 35, and he's run wide again. But we love Jimbo. He always has a crack, doesn't he, Prince? And always tries to stick it out, even if he is struggling a little bit down there. He's the last of the cars running on the track. Smitty, he's second in class, I should say. Smitty there for Hooncorp 3. And Hooncorp Esports, we're going to hear from the Hooncorp guys, Prince, a little bit later on. It is the Hooncorp 6 Hours of Silverstone, but this is an esports team based out of New Zealand, I believe, who take part in all sim racing, both locally and internationally as well. And they even jump in for some real racing, don't they, as well, when they get a chance?
Yeah, so they seem to be very, very active on Twitter, which is always good to see. I can't remember their Twitter handle, but you know, they're right up there in terms of the real world stuff as well as the simulation sides of things. They're all over it. But something that I noticed, Trev, I don't know if you noticed it too, is there a little bit of damage to the front of Smitty's car?
It certainly looks that way, and your suspicions have been proven correct, because you can see the front left-hand corner of that car does have a bit of damage, doesn't it? Which is interesting because we haven't really been, we haven't had our attention drawn to any real major incidences, have we? Here at the moment. Oh, and it's a bit of side-by-side action between Dask and Glasso down Hanger Straight. As let's see which of these two drivers is going to be the bravest. Last of the late breakers, and Dask gets it done. And those very nice-looking blue wheels there, the blue rims on the number 77 Mercedes, cracking livery as well. And Nismo has jumped in. And he's let us know that Nismo, he says Smitty went spearing off at turn 1, got the curb wrong and went off left instead of right. He zigged when he should have zagged, Prince, and that explains the damage on that car.
Yeah, so he did a little bit of like Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton vibes, except he managed to do it by himself, unfortunately, and found himself far enough out that he managed to hit the barrier. So it doesn't look like that damage is affecting the smiley boy too much. Sorry, I had to bring that back. I was looking at the front of the Aston.
And it does look like a very, very smiley boy. I think that was Bathurst we picked up on that one, did we not, yeah. Prince? And boy, we had a cracking time with that. But you can see the smiley boy, although it's a little bit... It's just, I can't unsee that now, Prince. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. Only 21 minutes into a 6-hour race. But Smitty down there in P20, then it's Ted Glasso, and then it's Dask as well. Let's have a look at what else is happening. HC Lewis, you'll be proud. You'll be proud. We know it. I think that's the building song which I've got in my head, Nigerian Prince. There's a JG Lewis or something, the building concern. And there we have it, P14. And what is he, P6 in class? There you can see Little Mac. He's keeping this train of cars behind him. We checked on him a little bit before, but he's still going strong. And there's plenty of top end in that Beamer.
A big mover. I think last time I saw him, he was sitting in P16. He moved up from P21, I believe it was. And he's just a man on an absolute mission at the moment. You know, he's keeping those guys behind. This BMW has just got all the legs, but I just want to bring your attention quickly to the front. Wilco, P3 for Kings Racing, currently a few tenths behind Norm now, and Twitchy's also now got the fastest lap. He's inherited that from Sidewalk, but this battle though, Trev, this is heating up for the front.
This is heating up, and beautifully done, Prince, there, bringing this battle to our attention. 33 gorgeous people watching the stream. Let us know in the comment section where you're watching the race from here this afternoon, or you've just got us as gentle background noise or the on-hold music. But Sidorg right behind Jason, who's right behind Norm. Zesty says, don't forget about me further down there in 5th place. But this battle is heating up and showing, I reckon this is going to get spicy here. Sidorg, he's a cool customer. And Wilco's, he's going to have to keep his eye on the mirrors as somebody's ringing me. The old man's ringing me. And what have I told him about ringing me during the Endurance Series? But we'll get back to him in just a few moments, because this is the battle where it's at the moment. And can Wilco get close enough to attack here? That is the question, Prince.
Yeah, so Wilco was about a 10th or so behind at the closest margin that I saw. But it's interesting though, Sidorg opting not to take the draft. He's kind of pulled out of that a little bit coming down the straight.
As you can see there, that battle continues.
I got fastest lap too.
Oh, look at you go.
And we'll call you back tonight. There we go. And Dope Dad's doing okay over there. But anyway, we've got Wilco here right behind Norm. And this is where it's at. Will.i.am want to see lots of battling here, says Will. And remember that joke from Friday night about Will joining the army? Nigerian Prince oh, here we go. Norm's run slightly wide.
Shame you're too old to have driven here, really.
Here's the battle.
I am too old to have driven here,
Yeah,
but...
wait for it. Here we go.
Yeah. Shame you wasn't fast enough to get
Wait
to
for
Formula
it.
1.
There we go. Martin has roasted Christian Horner in the chat. And you can see Rain of Fire there redeeming the sound effects, but Wilco's made a move. He looked to go down the inside, then it turned into the outside. Now down the inside again through Woodcote. Here they come, heading towards Cop's Corner across the start-finish line. Wilco's got the move done on Norm. And
Did I send it or did I?
Did I send it? He certainly sent it there, did
Oh,
Wilco for
send
Kings
it!
Racing, and now Sidorg
Oh.
looking to get in amongst the action
stuff, guys.
and get a bit of
Oh,
Norm on
thank
his
you.
fork as well, Prince.
Yeah, so Wilco pounced. He made the great move, great send. Managed to just get his nose in there and get down the inside, you know, back to the outside, back to the inside again. So he's on his merry way, but Sidorg, though, he wants a piece of Norm. So, you know, these BCG guys, they might be teammates, but I don't know whether the teammate rivalry is in place. That could be interesting. But Sidorg, though, looks like he's sticking out of the draft here as well.
And just waiting, biding his time there. Let's have a look. Will.i.am, lots of battles to see here. The sound effects, keep those sound effects redeeming and spend your coins wisely. Matchin 193, who followed us before we kicked off this afternoon. Get this, Prince. He's watching Team CS and Shakedown all the way from California. And he says, go Nick and go Sideways Polka. Our viewership all the way to the US of A. We're big in the States now.
We're going worldwide here, Trev. What's that? What's the saying from Step Brothers? I think it is. You know, Mr. Worldwide. You know, we're gonna have a yacht soon.
There we go. Have nots and have yachts. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. And you can see Sidorg there, and they are not using the draft. We talk about this word draft, Prince. Explain to our viewers what we mean by that, because the car in front usually cuts a hole through the air, and you can get into that slipstream or the draft, and it can make it easier to make a move, can't it?
Yeah, exactly. So these cars don't quite have DRS like you would see in, you know, your Formula One and stuff like that. So these cars rely heavily on the aerodynamics to kind of, you know, pull themselves closer when you're really close behind the car. So ACC, within about a second or so, you'll find that you'll start to get a little bit quicker when you're behind a driver, and you know, in turn you'll find yourself coming quicker into corners, and overtakes seem to come a little bit easier. So the one thing I think I'm working out here is the BCG guys, I don't think there's any team orders between them. I think they're just working together for now, because the FTSC guys are not too far behind, and they seem to be working together too.
And it's all about working together to achieve more. We've got, so we're almost inside the first half an hour there. Sidorg to go a little bit deep on the back of Norm. We might get back to this battle a little bit later. We might stick with it for a few more corners, I think, Prince, because I've got a feeling that something is going to happen just in the not too distant future. You can see there Sidorg, Zest only 1.7 seconds further back for FTSC1. And this battle will continue. We've got another battle going on here. Metal Steel right behind K-Man. And this is getting spicy as well, Prince.
Yeah, so Robin's Racing and PRT, they're getting right into it now. So it's Ferrari v Ferrari, and it's going to be dependent on how they've decided to set the car up with their wing and their aero. You know, it's definitely going to be some key indicators as to whether, you know, we'll see one driver quicker on a straight or not. But, oh, Metal Steel is holding off. He looks like he's trying to go a little bit defensive here, trying to hold off Metal Steel. But, oh, man, this is getting quite intense here, Trev.
It's getting intense. We love it. Round 5 of the Endurance Series. The Australia-New Zealand Endurance Series here. Hooncorp, 6 hours of Silverstone. And we're half an hour in. And he needs Metal Steel, needs Nerves of Steel if he can get this move done. And you can see Rubbins Racing K-Man making that pink Ferrari as wide as he possibly can. But now Metal Steel pulls out, goes down the inside. But K-Man still managing to hold him off there. And you can see that that Ferrari, we know that you're a man who loves your Ferraris, Prince. That pink Ferrari, I'm a bit of a sucker for the pink Ferrari, and it's managed to get stay ahead on this occasion. And if anything, it's managed to pull out. But what happened to K-Man there?
I was wondering that too.
K-Man, did he have an off there? He just disappeared into the shadow realm, Nigerian Prince. And he's off there having dinner with the Ethiopian president. And he just disappeared from that battle. Now he's 6 seconds further back. That is so bizarre.
Yeah, that was a little bit confusing. I wonder if our camera operators have got another angle on that one, because, you know, they were going through the corner almost simultaneously, and all of a sudden he disappeared. He went for a bit of a wander in the shadow realm, came back in his P17. So it's a bit interesting. Hopefully we've got another angle on that one.
And we're going to get a replay of what appears to be an invisible car circulating
This is shadow realm material right here.
the track. And we're following, all the cars have disappeared from the racing circuit. And we're not sure what is going on here. But this is very bizarre. We've got the track, which we can see, but we don't have any cars on the actual track. And we've seemed to have delved into some sort of shadow realm, the likes of which I've never seen before. So we might just quit that and leave that alone, I think, and get back to the business of racing. And there we have it. I think we're back now. My goodness, Prince, I think we slipped into some sort of time slip or some sort of alternative dimension or timeline there, because, well, the lights are on, but nobody was home.
Exactly, I was just about to say, let's kind of paint a picture for everybody and pretend that there's a banana racing around the circuit that we can't quite see. But no, nonetheless, though, that was quite interesting, Trev. A bit of shadow realm material at its finest.
I tell you what,
this is heating up.
This is spicier than a chicken tender dry aged for 90 days in pure chili sauce. Jesus, what am I going on with? But there you have it, Sniper. This battle from 12th onwards, Little Mac still keeping this train behind him. Then it's Sniper, HC Lewis, HSV, the New South Welshman, and Kilroy as well. This battle is showing no signs of letting up. If anything, it's getting spicier and tastier, corner by corner here. And you've really got to hold your nerve and hold your sack close to your chest, because they don't want to give anything away here, these drivers. We're half an hour into the 6 hours, the Hooncorp 6 hours of Silverstone, with thanks to esports, Hooncorp esports. Look at this, HSV, Rain of Fire, thank you for bringing this battle to our attention. But it's HSV, the New South Welshman there, going down, hanging straight through Stowe Corner, and I think he's got that done on HC Lewis there, and he's moved up a position into 15th on track, Prince.
Yeah, that was a great move on the outside. I was a little bit worried that it was going to be kind of sitting high and dry going on the outside line there, but, you know, I did a 6 hour Silverstone here maybe a few weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, not even, and, you know, that outside line, I don't know what it is, there is so much grip on that outside line that it's just unbelievable.
And so HSV now up to 15th and 6th, 7th, I beg your pardon, in his class. And would you be ever so kind, Prince, to take us through the different class structures here that we have? Not different class structures, we're all equals, but you know what I'm trying to say, Prince, the different classes here throughout the field and how it works here on ACC.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've bracketed our drivers into Pro, Pro-Am, and Am, and that's not based on, you know, your skill level overall. It's just a time bracket, just so that you've got an area to battle for on the track. So the white background that you'll see next to the manufacturer, behind the number, the white background is Pro, your silver background is Pro-Am, and your red background is Am. So currently, we've got Little Mac B, running like crazy. He's up about 10 positions, I think, off the start here in the first 35 minutes almost. Doing quite well, running the lead for Am, and you've got Sofa King respectively running the lead for Pro-Am, and I believe we've still got Twitchy, an absolute madman, holding a 3.6 second gap currently for P1 for Pro.
And let's have a look at that man. My American brother says the great man Connor just talking about Mac doing an awesome job there, and indeed he is holding his own there in not only his class but P12 on track overall. And I think getting back to the battle at the front though, while we still can, Sidorg and Wilco, are they just helping each other along here, Prince? Because you can see they've dropped Norm, who's now 2.7 seconds further back for BCG2, and Wilco is catching Twitchy. Oh my goodness, I've caught a Twitchy too, Prince, because guess who's joined the chat?
We're graced with the beautiful Matt Simmons. Where are we in the world, Matt?
I believe he's in Hong Kong, not in Hong Kong, he's in Vietnam. He is joining us from sunny Vietnam, and let us know where you are watching from, Matt Simmons. In fact, don't let me know exactly, because I'll be calling up the villa and asking for an extra room key. Still in Ho Chi Minh, leaving for Cambodia today. And when you're an absolute superstar like Matt Simmons, Nigerian Prince, you can go and do a bit of globe trotting and a bit of travelling around the world when you're Matt Simmons.
Yeah, exactly. He's a man of many mysteries, traveling the world, you know, races cars every now and again, you know, does it real life kind of thing, you know, and sometimes he can even order the room service, Trev.
He certainly can, and just like that, stay away from that mini bar. And stay away from that mini bar. That can be very dangerous, and it's sort of something you only delve into when you come back to your motel room and you're already drunk, isn't it, Prince? And that's where the danger can creep in. But Matt Simmons just gracing us with the great man's presence here. Of course, GT7 Academy champion, absolute superstar. Afternoon, gentlemen. Beaky has joined us, and what a time to join us down there, Beaky, in the where's he from? Karingal. Because I can tell you that this is an absolutely terrific battle. And Twitchy, that gap is steadily closing, Prince. Bit by bit, 3.2 over the next 5 hours is nothing, is it?
Yeah, definitely not. So it's closing by about a tenth or so a lap at the moment. So I'm wondering whether Twitchy's kind of gone all out too soon and he's burnt his tyres up. As we were talking, it's, you know, that final 20 minutes of the stint is crucial for your tyres. So, you know, we're almost getting into that final 20 minutes of your stint now. And, you know, that's where you really want to be worrying about those tyres, making sure that you've got longevity. But I do see the battle with Little Mac, Sniper and HSV is heating up, Trev. It's kicking off. There's not much between them.
It certainly isn't. We're going to check that out. Sniper now, Little Mac there. And fuel management kicking in, reckons, Figo reckons, as we welcome Figo to the chat as well. 5 hours, 23 minutes remaining. Matt Simmons says a tight top three for the first hour. And it looks like it will be a great race for everybody. And it's going to kick off here, let me tell you, in this battle between Sniper, Little Mac, Piston Broke, HSV behind the wheel of that car, and then HC Lewis. You'll be proud, we know it. And then it's Kilroy, not too far further back, but this is a five-way battle, Prince. And K-Man, who disappeared into the Earth's core a couple of laps ago is also creeping up on the back of this pack too and saying, I'm here, let's go and play.
Yeah, this is getting quite feisty here at the moment. These drivers, these guys have been in this same battle pack for, I believe, ever since the start, Trev. You know, they've been going quite heavily into this. So these drivers, they seem to be tick for tacking. You know, one might get past one lap and, you know, they kind of shuffle around a little bit. But, you know, Mac, though, he seems to be leading them lap after lap. So I'm sure he's sitting there quite nervous, you know, knowing he's got to uphold a pace that, you know, might be not good for the tyres and stuff like that. But, oh, nonetheless, though, these guys are having a ripper battle and we love to see it.
We absolutely love to see it. No doubt about that. And I know what you're all thinking at home. When Matt
Jimbo pit
Simmons...
lane.
When Matt Simmons is trotting around the globe as Jimbo into the pits here, Prince, have we got some pit lane action for a start?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit early for pit lane. You know, I think that this might be an unscheduled one for Jimbo, but I'm not sure. I didn't see any drive-throughs or anything for track limits, so yeah, I think he might be struggling a little bit with tyres, and I think they might be handing the car over.
There we have it. So Jimbo in the pits. We'll keep an eye on that. This battle continues to rage. I was about to finish off that point I had a moment ago about when Matt Simmons is globetrotting. Who looks after his charismatic French bulldog Hank? What on earth are the arrangements in place there? Because I'm a little bit worried about Tom Hanks and who looks after him when he's in Vietnam, Cambodia, New Zealand. Does anyone please think of his pooch?
You know, you never know when Matt gets back, he might find Hank sitting there with a basketball or, you know, the volleyball with a smiley face on it in the middle of nowhere on a deserted island going, where's Matt? Where's Matt? Where is he?
And, oh dear, yes, that's the one bit of advice I can give you is he's well, we're hearing now that he is well looked after. We have a dog sitter, and that is fantastic news. It was starting to worry me what Hank was up to. That trusty missing the big fella, no doubt about that. I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic reunion once you are back on our shores. Matt Simmons there, of course, in the comments. And that's one thing I've learned over the course of my life, Chuck Norris, is that you never, ever travel anywhere with Tom Hanks, and especially don't get on a plane with him.
Yeah, definitely not in those circumstances. You know, it's a bit of a treacherous place to be when you've got Tom Hanks. You know, is either going to be running forever or you're going to be deserted on an island with him.
I don't feel like running now. I want to go home. And I think I might go home now, Jenny. And yes, Jenny. Don't get me started on Jenny. She's a villain in my book. And then just leaves Tom at the end. Well, she left him several times, but she came back in the end. And yeah, like a box of chocolates. You never know, Prince, what you're going to get, and we still don't know what we're going to get in this race, do we, here?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, talking about a box of chocolates, you know, yeah, it could be worse. You could be stuck with Leonardo DiCaprio on a sinking Titanic.
And yes, there was room for two of them, as my dog has just randomly decided to start barking here at the moment, as somebody's entering into the
North Korean leaders barking orders.
Hello there, and yes, my wife has now returned home. It was her birthday yesterday. For everyone out there watching, a big happy birthday to the glorious Kaima B, who sometimes jumps onto the chat, but she's been out and about today. And great to have her back inside the house. And that was my trusty dog, Xena. Speaking of trusty dogs, warning me of someone entering into the commentary box. But you know what, Prince? We are going to focus back on the racing because Metal Steel and Random are having a ding-dong ding-along here.
Yeah, this is good. So this is going to these guys hopefully battling it out a little bit. You know, not only good for these drivers to have as, you know, they start getting into that closing few minutes of their stint. I believe they've got a 65-minute stint timer, Trev. So there's about 20 minutes on the clock before we'll start seeing pit lane action, or anywhere upwards of 20 minutes now we'll start seeing some action. But, oh, we saw a little bit of a random. So hopefully his connection's all good. But Oh, everything just went dark. I'm okay now. I see the light.
Go into the light, my son. And you can see there, Beaky, that's who I was about to mention. We've left Beaky in the waiting room. Oh no, we've left Beaky in the waiting room. Can you drag him up for a chat, Chuck? And get him here in the commentary box.
I've dragged him up.
Beaky,
Sorry, Beaky, we left you on the deserted island of Tom Hanks, so
your
glad to have you with
call
us.
is important to us. Please.
You just call me Wilson.
And Wilson, of course, he ended up going out to sea, didn't he, with him? And fantastic. But Beaky, mate, tuning in from the great state of Victoria. Tell us what you've been up to this afternoon, mate. A few frothies, a bit of a goon bag experience, or has it just been a quiet one for you?
Quiet so far, Trev. Just got back from holidays and heard you just mention. So happy birthday to Mrs. KB, and your dog's called Xena, as is mine.
Oh, look at that. Two great minds or two great dogs working together there. And yes, that's right. Big shout out to Xena, warrior princess there. Just sitting by the door, looking for any sort of intruders. And what kind of dog is your Xena, Beaky, if you don't mind me asking?
Not at all, mate. I've got a German Shepherd.
Oh, that's good. And yes, absolutely beautiful, the German Shepherds there. But, well, give him or her a pat for me, because I can tell you one thing now, that you are going to be with us. First of all, actually, I was going to say, Beaky, anything else you can keep us updated on there? Wait a second, we'll get back to you in just a few moments, because number 35 has made a pit stop, and we've got a Vert Wheeler who's not wheeling Vert very well, if you know what I mean, Prince. He is crawling in here, and just not good from what I can see here. Vert Wheeler for the Acceleracers is not accelerating at all there by the looks of it.
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure what happened. So we did see Jimbo come into pit lane a little while ago. You know, we were wondering what was going on, maybe an unscheduled pit stop or what's going on, but Vert Wheeler seems to be stopped just before pit lane here and a return to garage. So yeah, a little bit unfortunate. Hopefully whatever issues going on with those guys, hopefully they can get it sorted and get back out onto the track. But you hate to see it, Trev. 45 minutes into the race, and we've probably got our first mechanical issues.
And you can see there he wasn't moving very fast at all. We're going to get back to this battle though, and back to Beaky as well, who we unfortunately left him hanging in the waiting room. But like we said, his call was important to us. And out of fuel, Machin from the sunny state of California says, could he have been out of fuel, Beaky? What are your thoughts there for that one? Vert Wheeler appears to be out of this race, Beaky.
I would say he's definitely run out of fuel, mate. The way he was crawling into the pits there, it looks like he's got the pit entry and had to teleport back to the box to deal with it.
And you can see there, it appears that he's out of this race. So we might have the first official retirement there for the Acceleracers and Vert Wheeler. As we take a look at HC Lewis, we might get back to the front of the grid. And yours truly, as well as the Nigerian Prince Chuck Norris, joining us here this afternoon. Simon and Jason, what could possibly go wrong here, Beaky? Your man Jason Wilkinson under all sorts of pressure here for the P2 battle.
Oh, mate, yeah, long race. So if Will goes under the pump, let him go. You'll get him later.
And you can tell there it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And Chuck Norris as well as Beaky joining us here. And here this afternoon, hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching from right around the world. 5 hours and 13 minutes. And my goodness, I can tell you we've seen some very close, very exciting, very clean racing, Prince, all very respectful as well.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more, Trev. You know, from the get-go right through to where we are currently, it's just been killer ding-dong battles the whole way through. And, you know, look at it go. You know, even Wilco's chipped out, I believe, a whole second since we last refreshed that timer. So down to 2.3 seconds now to Twitchy, or 2.4, it's just updated. So I've got a feeling Psydog's kind of playing the game with Wilco here. knowing that Wilco's setting the pace, he's catching Twitchy, but this pit stop action, I'm looking forward to it kicking off, Trev, because we've got maybe 10 minutes and we'll start seeing cars coming into pit lane.
And we cannot wait to see that.
Drive-through for Vert Wheeler, no.
And a drive-through for Vert Wheeler. And as somebody... And he's driving through. He's on the grass. A look at this. What on earth is happening here at the moment? Because Vert Wheeler is spending more time on the grass than Jimi Hendrix at the moment, because look at him, he's just continuing on like he's on a curtain rod. He's strangely sliding across the grass, Prince, and he's doesn't want to come back onto the track now. He's inside the white lines again. What on earth is going on for Vert Wheeler and the accelerators here?
There's a part of me that's wondering whether he's got some pedal issues or something, Trev, because yeah, it seems a little bit weird. Like if he was trying to stay on the grass and keep out of it, there's a part of me that feels like maybe his pedals are kind of locking as he's trying to do his best to keep on the inside here and out of the way of everybody. So hopefully this isn't a situation of like a throttle pedal locked or something like that. But yeah, this is definitely some kind of very special shortcut that we might only see once in a blue moon during Mario Kart.
It's like the shortcut on Rainbow Road in Mario Kart. He's trying to avoid the
over the edge.
And yeah, more often than not, we'll have to get to the bottom of that problem. Matty Simmons saying he's taking the shortcut, worth a couple of tenths. And Hyperdrift wants to know, is this Lexus okay? I think it needs to go home, Beaky, because it looks to be drunk here at the moment. Now he's on the black stuff, but he's still going very slowly, Beaky.
Yeah, it's, I don't think I have any words to explain that. That's I don't know if it's like Cam was saying, something wrong with the pedals or a wheel disconnect, but he's yeah, that outfield's not going to need the grass cut anytime soon.
It is 36 degrees track temperature, 28 degrees ambient temperature here in the UK. We are here at Silverstone. It is the Hooncorp 6 hours of Silverstone, of course, as we get back to side org at the front of the field. And I was about to say, if Vert Wheeler hasn't had his lap time invalidated by now, then something's wrong. But you can see we are racing at a former abandoned World War II airfield, Chuck Norris, which seems to be the usual way things go here for tracks in the UK. As somebody else off, is that Vert Wheeler who's finally pulled off the track? And he seems to be in some sort of behind that hill there. And I don't think he's going too much further. No, he's back into the pit lane now, Prince, and that could be all she wrote for the Acceler Racers crew this afternoon.
Yeah, it's sad to see, it's at the end of the day, it's a part of the endurance racing, whether you're in the simulation or the real world sides of things, not only are the emotions quite high, but, you're not at fault with any mechanical errors that go on, so yeah, it's sad to see nonetheless. Hopefully whatever issue is going on with the 35 Lexus, hopefully they can get it sorted. It would be great to see them see the checkered flag, as we would wish that for anybody. But yeah, this pace though, I've got to admit that, back onto the other drivers respectfully, Immortal Nick though, as you can see on the screen, is putting up quite a fight here with Shawnee Fuller for P8.
He certainly is, and boy oh boy, second and third in their class respectively. And Vert Wheeler, we're getting an update from Vert Wheeler, who says, yep, we ran out of fuel and he can't quite get it around for a lap to refuel. So it is fuel issues for that 35 Lexus there. Unfortunately, that is going to put pay to their race, Prince.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, sometimes it's the simplest of things. We thought it was a pedal issue, and thankfully it isn't a mechanical issue with the rig or any of the setup or that kind of thing. It's just sadly a fuel issue. So hopefully you guys can get it sorted. Worst case scenario, do keep in mind you can go return to garage and you'll come back out with a tank full of fuel, but you will have a bit of a countdown time before you will be released.
Who would have thought something as simple like putting fuel into a car can really disrupt your race? And it is pretty important, isn't it, to put fuel in your car? But look at these two go. These two fluorescent yellow cars, Shawnee Fuller and Nick as well for CS Racing and CFD respectively. they are having a terrific battle here. And you can see it's 5.4 seconds ahead to Sofa King. And Random, of course, in a different class, 14.9 further back there in P10 on the track as we get back to our special guest in the commentary box with us here this afternoon inside the opening hour of this 6-hour race. Beaky, mate, what else is on for this afternoon? Well, we know what's on, of course, watching the next 5 hours of this race, but what else is happening in your part of the world on your sunny Sunday afternoon?
Literally just sitting back and enjoying the stream, Trev, and yeah, sit down and have a look and going out and doing a bit more fishing later in the week.
Great stuff. Beaky, we really appreciate giving up your time on a Sunday afternoon, mate, to come and have a chat with us. And don't worry, we'll keep Wilco on his toes, mate. But thank you for joining us. All the best, mate, and pop in any time if you need to chat. Thank you very much.
No worries. Thank you, gentlemen. And yes, I might pop back in later for a bit of a chat and we'll talk to you then.
Anytime. Thank you, Beaky. And that was Beaky, of course, one of the family Nigerian prince, of course, here for KRL, and just an all-round good bloke, isn't he?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Trev. You know, we've got a lot of beautiful people amongst the community here in KRL. You know, far and wide, from the Oz New Zealand Endurance League to Kid Fires Racing League to, you know, it's just far and wide, Trev. You know, there's so many amazing people amongst the community.
Certainly is, Matt. Oh, and there's a car off.
Ooh.
Random is off into the
Oh,
wall.
wow.
And wow, what happened there? It looked like something break on the car or something. He just speared off to the left of our picture, Nigerian Prince. And that is going to cause some issues going on the damage on the front of that 56 Audi. But we just caught the arse end of that incident when we jumped onto Random 90. It looked as though Sparky's saying he could have touched the curb there, Prince, and gone straight off the road.
Yeah, so I learnt the hard way during our practice for my Silverstone 6-hour here a little while ago that there's actually a nasty bump a little bit further out where the curb is. You don't typically be out there, but sadly if you find yourself out there like Random did, unfortunately you'll hit that bump and it literally just full bottoms the car out and it chucks you, as we saw. So very unfortunate to see them with a heavy front end damage, you know, but thankfully ACC's quite rewarding with the damage. You know, it doesn't tank you like iRacing, so this will hopefully be, I'd say, a minute and a half minimum, but hopefully these guys can get straight back out. So they're doing the nice good thing, making sure everybody's got plenty of room to go past, and you know, we'll definitely be seeing them come into pit lane and hopefully get this car fixed up.
And Random coming into the pit lane to get that damage looked at. We'll keep an eye on Vert Wheeler, who's in the pits. He's now got a stop-go penalty, of course. Smitty, who is battling. In fact, no, I beg your pardon, he's not battling, is he? But he's down at the back of the field. And silver lining, says Matt Simmons. It's happened around the pit window, so won't need an extra stop, hopefully. And that just gives you an insight, doesn't it, Nigerian Prince? Inside the mind of a real racing driver there. Matt Simmons always looking to grab a positive there. And that is the silver lining there, that it is close to the pit window, so it hopefully won't affect him too much. Thank you also for the information, Sparky. And Imagine says, great advice, not only here at Silverstone, but to take through life in general. Machin tells us, do not touch your sausage, Prince.
Yeah, look, like, as long as you're taking a positive out of a negative, you know, that's definitely the key takeaway from it. You know, it's endurance racing at its finest, and you know, sometimes things go tits up, as you know, the saying goes. But you know, it's just a part of the tick for tack. So we did see Sniper come in as well. He bit the bullet and came in a little bit early as well with Random, get that stop done. Unfortunately, Vert Wheeler is that team, Acceleracers, they really haven't had the best run, Trev. You know, running out of fuel and, you know, not being able to get back to pit lane and then going back out trying again. And they had a drive-through and now a stop go 30. So, oh, it's just been War of the Worlds for them. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, but, it's not the end of it. There's still 5 hours to go, and, sometimes things can change.
5 hours to go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go off to a break at the